Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Moxley Bug. So this week's poem and the discussion was pretty emotionally intense. So I thought, it's Friday, we need a break. Let's just do something lighthearted. So I'm just gonna yammer at you. I watched Aquaman last night for the third time because I am in love with Jason Momoa. I know he's happily married and I respect that, but he's like okay, if he was a ginger, he would be the Ghost of Christmas Present, which is my type. So he's my type. So I love him and I try to watch as many of his movies as I can. So I enjoy Aquaman in the sense that I get to stare at Jason Momoa for a really long time because that movie feels like it's forever. That said, I don't like DC films. Marvel's just better, you guys. It's just better. I know some of you really go hard for DC. I don't understand. And now Batman is my favorite superhero of all time. I love Batman. I've always loved Batman. Since I was little, I grew up on Michael Keaton Batman. Even the George Clooney cheesy ones. I just love Batman. He's great. And then Christian Bale just like blew it out of the water. That's just a whole nother level of Batman. I adore Batman. I am not a fan of Ben Affleck's Batman. And I am not a fan of the new DC Batman thing they're doing with the Justice League. Yeah, not feeling it. And it's just, I think it just comes down to better storytelling. And I will own, not every Marvel movie is perfect. Some of them are hits and misses. I am not a fan of Doctor Strange. I watched it and it was very confusing and basically Tony Stark just worse, I guess. I don't know. I like Tony Stark. Not a fan of Doctor Strange and his whole storyline. I have not seen every single Marvel movie. I watch the ones I enjoy. So I've seen all the Thors and all the Iron Mans and Black Panther and Captain Marvel and of course the Avengers and yeah, all the Avenger movies. Them coming together is my favorite. And Guardians of the Galaxy, I did not want to go see Guardians of the Galaxy. My friend made me watch it because I was like, there's a tree and a talking raccoon. This is going to be stupid. And then we saw it together and it was one of the best movies I've ever seen. So yeah, love me some Marvel movies. Not all of them, but I love a good Marvel movie. And I have yet to find a DC film, even having Jason Momoa, who again is very attractive and I enjoy looking at. I still would watch a Marvel movie over a DC film. And I think what I've seen, Aquaman seems to be the best done job. And it's still not great. It's just still not as good as Marvel movies because just the storytelling's all off. For one, they completely changed Aquaman's backstory from what was like hinted at in Justice League, which, why? Also, number two, why do you have Justice League before you have the individual backstory movies? Because this is the thing, Marvel played the long game. Marvel gave us Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and some Thors and some Captain Americas, which I haven't seen, and some, even the Hulk, which I know the first one was terrible because it was a completely different actor. I don't know. I didn't watch that one either, honestly. But they gave us some backstory, you guys. And the backstory, and they made you invest in the characters before bringing them all in together. You cared. You cared about what was going to happen to at least most of these people. You cared about Loki. Like, you knew Loki was a bad guy in the best possible way. Like, you love some Loki. I love some Loki. Was the Avengers after? I don't remember the exact order. Anyway, we still got backstories, you guys. They know how to build up stories. They know how to make you invest in characters in a way that I don't invest in DC characters. I did see Wonder Woman after I saw Captain Marvel. So maybe I would have liked it better if I saw it first. Because I adored Captain Marvel. She was so awesome and badass. She's just great and it is so empowering and such a beautiful story and so like yes. But even before we got Captain Marvel, she's yes the first full length female superhero movie we've seen, but we, even before then, had like really bomb, amazing female characters in a lot of the Marvel films. It's just been very rich in characters, very rich in storytelling. Versus Wonder Woman, that was just a whole lot of awkward. Like, that whole, like, in the closing, in the end, or near the end, the final battle scene, I should say, which DC does not know how to do battle scenes, you guys, because they don't really tell you a story while the battle's happening. It's just story, here's a battle, story. And it's just jarring and kind of boring. Like, I like a good battle scene when I'm invested and when it's moving the story along and I care. Like, I love a good Marvel battle scene and they're like witty and fun. DC hasn't figured that out. I don't know why. That's hard for them, but their battle scenes just feel like abruptly thrown in battle scene. And they always feel like they go too long and there's too many of them. That's the thing about Aquaman. There's way too many battles in that movie. And I like a good battle scene. But, yeah, Wonder Woman, that, like, final battle scene where, like, I don't even understand the setup fully still, even after seeing it. Like, the air strip or whatever's on fire, but most people aren't even paying attention to that fact. Like, what? And then when she's like has her moment with her guy and he's talking to her and she can't hear him and she just keeps going, what? That went on for way too long. Like, way too long, much time spent on her awkwardly going, what? And then, as my friend pointed out, before that, there's that moment where she's fighting the main bad guy, which I wasn't even invested in that battle because he's supposed to be the god of war and all this stuff, and it's supposed to be very important that she fights this battle. But it's set during World War II, so we know wars happen after this. Like, there's still wars. We've had wars since World War II. So clearly, the god of war isn't doing much either way. Like, we're still gonna fight each other. So it doesn't feel like there's much to win or lose in that battle. When she's first fighting with him, and she loses her sword, you think it's gonna be this, like, she's gonna have to fight to get her sword back, or like it's gonna be this intense moment. No, next you cut back, she has her sword again. What? And then it was just, it's not as good. Wonder Woman is not as good. And what? For one, I'm a 90s kid. I love the 90s, so Captain Marvel already had me on that. And Wonder Woman it's just, what? They're not as rich stories. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. Marvel is better. Marvel's better at telling stories. They're better at making you invest in characters, both the good characters and the bad characters. They're better at making you invest in what's happening. And granted, not all of their bad guys, is that the right word I want to use? Not all of their bad guys are that awesome or that impressive, but they have freaking Loki. Loki is the best bad guy. And then Thanos, you guys, Killmonger, like, these were some really, like, you invested, you cared, you got their whole story. This DC just can't, they don't do it well. And yeah, even as much as I love Aquaman, there was a lot about that storyline that was super awkward, and a lot of the setups didn't make any sense, and it was just poor writing. It's poor writing, and I don't like them as much. I'm sorry. I like a good superhero movie. I like staring at Jason Momoa. I love Batman. DC, just, I could take or leave a DC movie. It's just like, So what do you guys think about DC films? What? But DC versus Marvel film, where do you fall? Because I know some people go hard for DC, and I honestly don't understand it. So if you can explain to me why DC is better, let me know. I'm willing to hear you out. That has not been my experience. What?